What's up guys, this is Cher talking, welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I bring you news for Romancing SaGa 2 Revenge of the Seven. There are two different articles from Gematsu, one from today, another one from the past. I want to talk about everything that has been revealed and a lot of new information that should be very interesting for those hyped for this game. Let's start with the first article that was released on June 18, and this article here kind of explains a little bit of the story. It says in the Imperial year 1000, terrifying things plague the land and various nations struggle to contend with both this incursion and their own internal conflicts. The people wait in hope for the fulfillment of an ancient legend that foretells the coming of 7 great heroes who will save their ravaged kingdoms. Then one day, in Avalon, the capital of the Varanus Empire, it's suddenly and brutally attacked. The aggressor is none other than Kazinsi, one of the 7 heroes of the legend. The people are crushed underfoot, and Prince Victor, the brave and noble heir to the imperial throne, is slain. The citizens of the empire are overcome with despair in the realization that the legends were false, but Victor's father, Emperor Leon, swears his revenge on the 7 and their mighty powers. He uses the fabled inheritance magic bestowed by the Ceres Orive to pass his powers onto his older son, Gerard, creating his own life for a chance for his heir to strike back. Gerard, also known as Pajama Boy. The act marked the first chapter in the deadly tale of a war fought long ago, an epoch-spanning struggle between the Imperial line of Varanus and the 7 heroes. So this is the prologue, and you're gonna see this in the first 30 minutes of the game. Not really a spoiler. It is interesting because the things are changing a little, because you can see Gerard appearing way too much in the screenshots. That means that Gerard is not going to be unplayable as he was on the original. Yeah, you're gonna get to play with him more often. You can see the passage here being a little strange. Maybe it's not really the passage, but another thing that we should discuss is about the battle system that some people told me that it's actually pretty similar to Octopath, but I haven't played Octopath Traveler yet. And the timeline here on the top, it's because of the action order of your skills, so that you can actually also see the outcome of the next turn. In many Romancing SaGa games, depending on the skill that you use, you're gonna have different type of speed for your actions and attack before or after the enemy. It's really important because you can stun enemies or paralyze, apply ailments, debuffs, buff yourself, all of that. So that's the thing that is happening here on the top. We already discussed this during the trailer, and also you can see your party here. That's pretty nice when you sit on the throne, I guess. And there's also the information about the formation here. It seems like it is aligned with the Romancing SaGa universe game. There are plenty of menus here. You can see attributes. This is probably to check how your status are. Equipment, attacks and spells. You can learn skills and spells in this game, but there's something very important. As you can see, there's no MP in this game anymore. It's just BP. This is actually pretty nice because you can now probably change the way your character works anytime. Because to learn spells and advanced moment in the game, it was super hard because your character would start with low MP and you have to keep spamming low MP spells in order to increase the level of your spell rank. That's interesting. Besides that, abilities. I don't know what abilities mean, but probably passives. Inventory. Then I hope the inventory is now not so limited as in the original game. There's no reason to keep doing these things like Euden Chronicle did. Keeping up with limited inventory is a thing from the past. Formation's pretty nice because we can change in a really make an impact in your gameplay. Chronicles to understand what has happening in the world of Romancing SaGa, the quests you have done, and what has affected the world building. Imperial standing, I don't really know about this, but it's probably the map so that you can check where you are, the places that you have conquered. Almanac, this is probably just a way to check all the information about the world and the characters. Settings, well, this is just self-explanatory. There's always 2 screenshots here to check, so it's for the global and the Japanese version. This is the first time, I think, that they are releasing Romancing SaGa 2 in both regions at the same time. The remaster was released later, and it's also the second SaGa game to be released on 2 regions on the same time. I'm not mistaken. You can see that the key visual is really similar to the Mana series, but most likely Trials of Mana. It's the same artist, as it seems. The original art does have Shadow and Lightning on higher resolution, but I do believe that they removed it because this game is also running on the Nintendo Switch, but it's not running on mobile anymore. I don't know why, maybe because of the engine. Who knows? So you can see that the character art is well defined, but lacks some Shadow and Lightning effects. You can see the skill level of your weapons here, that's pretty nice, and also how close you are to leveling it up. So I believe they are removing a little bit of the RNG of leveling up weapon levels. Spell levels are here on the right side. You still cannot see the shadow spell because it's related to a quest. That is interesting. Also, this pentagon showcasing the status of your character. That's also pretty nice. I don't know if characters will be locked into only sparking some specific skills, because in the original it was like that. I hope they remove this limit because it made a lot of problems into learning skills in the end game if you didn't have the right characters. I also believe they will allow you to change characters easier than it was in the original. But pretty interesting that you can see physical defense and magical defense, but you cannot see slash, blunt, or pierce resistance. I don't know if this was changed in this game. There's the block rate of the shield, also movement speed. It is probably based on the speed status, but there's also encumbrance, something that I don't really understand. Moving on, you can see the art for Leon, and he looks pretty amazing, to be honest. His clothes is epic, nonetheless. And here it's probably talking about the Kazinsi fight. Yeah, I understand your position, but I fear the return of the 7 heroes gives a little leeway in the matter. And then Gerard, Pajama Boy, but already on his gold armor. And this is advancing the story. It's the first generation of the new Imperial line. He begins the war to defeat the 7 heroes. And this is where you start seeing some strange things. He appears way too much in the screenshots. So maybe we'll have less generations in the remake, or maybe just staying up with Gerard for more time. That's Bear, that's Therese. This is the first squad. Henry, the first classes that you unlock, and that will accompany Gerard during the first part of the game. But the thing is, Hector, sometimes people can actually end Gerard wrote without playing with Hector. So I hope he appears more during this first part of the game. Also, Andromache is here. And Andromache is on Romancing SaGa universe. And you can see Gerard talking with Hector, and should our patron prove to be nothing more than a paper tiger, we will not hesitate to serve someone else. That's also what happens during the original game. Hector hesitates into fighting alongside Gerard. I don't think this will happen too much here. Arius, the mage, Emerald, the mage, Cat. Yeah, the scene that you see in the trailer where you can help or not Cat, it's pretty interesting as well. And Sparrow is just the male version of the City Thief. You can see here this is probably the base of the thieves, that it's actually on Avalon. Now we're talking about inheritance, and you can choose the next emperor, and there are 6 options now instead of 4. That's much better. I don't know if it will be RNG related, but probably still 6 options between the classes that you have unlocked. And you can also force the current emperor to abdicate. That is probably because you didn't like the character that you were playing with, and you think you already did everything that is allowed to do. Maybe in the remake you can actually do more stuff, and some of the content will be locked between generations. Like a quest only happens in the 3rd generation, 4th generation. The original game is a little more diverse in the way that almost everything can be done by any emperor you like, but we'll see about that. Then here you can see that the enemies are visible in the field alongside a map that can show the enemy icon. That's super nice. And hopefully you will not lose your formation so easily as in the original game. It says enemies will be weak against certain weapons or spells. That's also a big change. It's weak to weapon, not damage type. That's why I believe that you will be equipping your characters and they will only resist magical or physical, but not exactly blunt, ears, all those things. But then the spells will have different elements, and in this case, yes, multiple elements here. This is a fight versus Kazinsi. That's pretty awesome. Boss fights look really amazing. They are using scatter petals here. This is probably not versus Kazinsi, is it? No, it is not, because this is a very strong skill. But interesting that Gerard is still in the party with scatter petals. That's the second best greatsword skill in the game. And we're still seeing Bear, Therese, Emerald, and Actor. This means that it's one of the first squads. Moving on, Flash Fire is also fire spell. And at least this time we are seeing a different Emperor. So, makes sense. It's not a entry-level spell. Diamond Dust is a fusion spell. Barrage Shot, I never learned this when I was playing, but this one is a strong bow attack. And you can see that this is yet another of multiple Emperors. And there's the Overdrive Gauge. The Overdrive Gauge seems to be filling as long as you attack. I don't know if it will be kept during different fights so that you can actually enter a boss fight with it fully charged. But this will also help you do combo attacks that will improve the damage of everyone's. They still kept the Glimmer system, of course, and evasion systems where you can learn how to evade enemy attacks, and this will fully evade the enemy attack. It's important for the lore of the game. You have to evade Soul Steel from Kazinsi, but also Temptation from Rock to make it easier. You can see that you evaded Double Cut. That is a entry-level sword skill. That's probably something that will happen a lot and will be even more important here. United attacks are the combo attacks, like I said, and they will do more damage if you use them. You can then trigger a Mighty United attack, which enhances your character abilities and spells. It says once the Overdrive Gauge is charged to maximum. Here it says to Shane, but I don't know if this is the max, because there are 5 characters. You have to wait a little more. It's interesting that when you click on United attack, you can see Dual Let. So there are probably different types of combos as well. And also showcases that there is 2 icons fluided, and probably it's just a combo of 2 characters. Yeah, I feel like the Overdrive Gauge can reach 5 chains, maybe, for 5 characters attack. But I don't think you will see different types of attack like Chrono Trigger or Chrono Cross. It's just, you know, one attack after the another. Dual Gunner. And it was called Dual Let because this is probably the first name, Dual, from Dual Gunner, and Let from I don't know what. Formations are pretty cool. You can see exactly what is increasing. Easier to target, harder to be targeted, speed decrease, physical and magical defense. It was not always clear in the original or even the remaster. And the freeform scenario in this game, every action the player takes will have a modular effect on story progression, from the options they choose to the order they visit locations and the actions they take there. Story will progress wherever you do, but whatever you do, but the events that occur can have countless variations. Act as you wish and write your own heroic tale in the history of the Empire. In the intrigue surrounding the succession of the throne of Cumberland, the Emperor's decision may have a major impact in Kingdom's survival, and depending on the player choices. As you can see here, we had 3 different options. Sent out an Ambassador of Peace. If you don't like spoiler, please skip this part, but this is related to quest that, if I'm not mistaken, was not easy to do or impossible to do with Gathered. And it unlocks new classes, and depending on what you do, you may not unlock all 3 classes. So here you can see you're being capable of choosing the outcome. And while the screenshots are kind of delivering it, you can see that it's not a good ending for the quest. And there's different ways to also assault the Canal Fortress, either going straight on the front door or by using a boat. You can actually find different dungeons as well. See that you need to use Cat to reach the Canal Fortress, if you saved her or not. But it looks like the game is actually wanting to do the best route. And seems like Cat's also drawing on the walls, man. That's super cool, look. is drawing for you the right path you should be taking. Here is the map, and it looks to be a little bigger than the original. So maybe one picture will actually cover more of the map. Here you can also travel to specific points, like the Throne, the Training Hall, Palace Tavern. It's much better this way. This is quick travel at its best. And here's the full map. You can probably travel directly to some points if you want, instead of having to open a mini map. And this exclamation points make it a little more interesting, because you know that there's something on this region, a quest, and you haven't done it yet. It's available to you right now. That's how I feel about it. City development to create some stuff like the academy. I don't know if you have to really create the academy, because they say such as Smithy and the Incantations Lab, where you can develop new weapons and spells. Oh, yeah, they capped this. But maybe you can learn the entry-level spells without having a need for the Incantations Lab. I don't know, because that was actually a little bit of a problem in the original, because it would take you even one generation if you are not paying exactly attention to what you're doing. And then difficulty and background music options, and it's interesting that the classic mode is now the hard mode, and you have now casual mode and normal mode. So very easy, and then normal, but it's called like hard. You can change at any time. So if you feel like you're too strong and you want to increase to the classic mode, do it. But if you are feeling like the game is too hard for you, don't worry, decrease the difficulty level, because Saga games are not for everyone. It's better to enjoy the game instead of just feeling annoyed by the difficulty. The environments are pretty cool. You can see here that they really make them look great. The lava sections, the forest, and you can see a ship from afar. In many other places, they look pretty cool. There are also some stuff that are pre-order bonuses, but they are ridiculous. It's just for those collectors anyway. You get 2 items, one that increases your technique points by 10%, 10% only, or 10% gold, and they won't even work forever. It says that they only work for a certain amount of time. Okay, now let's move into the new information. And here you can see a martial artist's class. And to do that, I Master Dragon shall defeat you. I don't think that he's talking to the player, maybe. I don't know. And we can see other classes like the Nomad. The Nomad usually uses bows, but depending on the exact character, can also be good with other ones. Fatima is here in this picture. Probably will be the first one in the quest. Sophia, from the quest we were discussing, that you can actually miss or do a bad ending. Then Carl, the martial artist, and the first one to appear from this class. And Rick, he is actually a merchant, but also kind of a pirate. Use it to give a good formation to the party. I don't know if this will happen again. In this case, you can see that it's not Getter that's talking to him. They are using City Thief. This case, I don't know if it's a Sparrow or whoever it is, but it's after Getter pass it on the Heron's ritual. Eric is related to a class as well. I feel like they are focusing more on showcasing the classes related to main quests. Salamander, well, if you know about Romancing SaGa 2, you may or not keep this class because of spoilers. And Jian from the Woman Village, the Amazons. And she's also key to allow you to fight Roboke. And here we can see abilities. Yes, each character has a unique ability. We can finally see the abilities. Each character class has a unique ability, offering the player a variety of advantages specific to each character. Boons offered by abilities include increased HP, enhanced magic damage, enhanced attributes, increased item drop rates, and more. Abilities can be unlocked by having a character class participate in and win a certain number of enemy encounters. That's pretty nice, because you will probably want to use all classes this way to check what they can offer you. And in the original game, if a character was just good at a specific weapon, and you had like 3 different characters that were good on that specific weapon, you would just choose the strongest one. And now you have other reasons to use these characters. Maybe they have infantry is better than other types of tanks. In the case of Bear, grants a 40% chance to parry attacks while equipped with a sword. That's without using parry himself. So if you place him on a position where he draws more enemy attacks, you can use direct damage with him, not just use parry every turn. And here we can see Emerald learning spell BP reduction. That's interesting. It only works for spells. And Salamander has Pyro Banishon that nullifies all damage dealt by Pyrology. That is fire spells. And heals on fire ley lines. Also includes synergized spells. Beneficial effects are not ignored. It means that fusion spells will also be negated, like a fire plus sun spell be negated. That's interesting, but it's just yourself. And there are so many different passives. Look, you can choose. I don't know what you can do here, if you can actually learn a passive from a class and pass into others, because looks too many. Auto parry with a nomad. And kind of broken. Interesting, will also make you play with all classes even more. Preemptive strikes. Okay, so you can actually use your main attack to attack the enemy and have a preemptive strike. It looks like you will start with the Overdrive Gouge more fillet, and you will do free damage on the enemies as well. And you get the upper hand, you're gonna attack before the enemies as well. Pretty cool situation because you can see the enemies on the map, but if the enemy attacks you instead, your formation will still break. Okay, as long as it's not like the original, like you will be attacked first at all times, maybe still consider the action order or speed of your character. Here we are talking about United Chain attacks, and yeah, see, 3 chains. This is a 3 attack. Sun, it was a spell. Barrage, probably bow attack, and Delta, reverse Delta from X. Pretty cool. 3 attacks, damage multiplied by 2.0. I do believe we can do 5 characters combo for sure. And you can see the experience of your weapon here increasing. 26, very close for a level up. And then here Sophia reaching level 46 as well. And it says technique points, 94. Finisher bonus, you can get even bonus if you are finishing with style, maybe with combos, who knows. Maybe passives as well. The Overdrive Gouge, which is required to launch another attack, carries over between encounters. Remember we were talking about that in the first article. Once longer United attack chains are unlocked, you don't start the game with a max of 5 Gouges, probably just 2. They can be used in battle by repeatedly building up the Overdrive Gouge. Once a United attack has been launched during an encounter, the next United attack used within the same encounter will include more retinue members. That's interesting. Techniques and spells will always use BP, like I said. Here we can see Filet, a sword technique, and it hits multiple times, but it seems to be single target. Stone Shower, an AoE Virology spell, pretty good on the original. Tree Cleaver, this is an axe technique, deals critical damage to floral enemies. Okay. So you still have critical damage, pretty nice. Petrify Rush can petrify. The Spear attack. And they are talking about what you can actually build on Avalon. Smithy, that will then create new equipment, and Reforge, that's a new option. A certain amount of time you need to pass before the equipment can be collected, just like in the original. And you will need some materials. Yes, not just money. That's interesting as well, but complicates. Here you can see the equipment, 2 weapons, a sword and a S sword, and then we can equip a lot of equipment. See, there are 6 slots. All the armory, shield, armor, helmet, then glove, a greave, and an accessory, and 2 items even. This really covers everything. Seems like Gerard has more inclination to magic than anything else. Smithy plus Forge equipment. You can see here what you need, Beastly Claw. So the game wants you to grind and farm specific enemies. That's not bad. I feel like this is something that people really love in new RPGs. Materials needed to develop or reforge equipment can be obtained from treasure chests through the overworld indicated by an interactable glow. You can even see this looks like Xenoblade. Yeah, pretty cool. And you got the Beastly Claw. Now, retinue composition. New character classes can be discovered and become recruitable by progressing through the various freeform scenario episodes that take places across the world. All of the recruited classes can be added into the Emperor's retinue at any time by visiting a tavern. That's so good, because you don't need to find the characters. Sometimes the characters were just too far, or inside a dungeon, or whatever. It was terrible. Now you just go to a tavern and you can switch your characters around. Quality of life stuff. James is here and you are able to switch between older characters as well. And it's interesting because the game will show the characters available on that period of time, I believe. Because then every time you skip a generation, you are going to see same class, but different characters. Different names, different status, all of that. World map is here, and like I said, this is a quick travel menu where you can even get straight out to the throne room. There are also icons on the places. I don't know if that means that there's something to do there, but probably. And the steppe, the worst region on the original, because you could actually go to so many different places, and now you can just use quick travel, my friend. This is going to fix many of the problems with not knowing where to go. Dragon Lair is the training grounds for the martial artists of the Soul Banaries, who were formerly known as the protectors of the... This is just explaining a little more about the regions. Yeah, because there is a quest that you can do to unlock the class. I'm not going to go too much over it because this is just like the original. But yes, we are attacking the Master Dragon here with Gathered Only. That is interesting. They are changing content a little. And that's it, my friends. It ends here. What do you think about this all? I am super hyped because of so many differences in the remake. And they are all welcome because they make the game easier to play. Not really easier to beat. I still hope that playing on the classic hard difficulty will still allow for some good challenges, because I really like some good challenges. But that's the end of the video. My friends, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I hope to see you soon on the next video and when this game launches. Goodbye.